Very good morning, students. Let's discuss the causes of poverty today. In this picture, you can see many of the causes which are mentioned here: unemployment, the benefit systems, low pay, disability, gender and race, and family structure. These are the basic reasons of poverty, and many more are there. If we talk about the unemployment, we know that if a person or a family is unemployed, so definitely they will not get the income, and in the absence of income, that family will get poor. As far as family structure is concerned, the large family suffers because resources are not available for everyone, and in the absence of resources, so that family also tends to get poor. Gender and race. See, as far as gender is concerned, it is responsible for a particular section of the society to become poorest of the poor. We know that in our country the gender distinction is there, so it leads to a particular section of the society to become poorest of the poor, say the women, the girl child, and the elderly people. Disability, yes, if a person is physically not fit, that person will not be able to do the work, and hence he'll become the poor. Low pay, yes, the less income, that is also responsible for the poverty. And the benefit systems, the policies that are initiated by the government, and those policies are not being benefited, so that also leads to the poverty. Now, what other causes of poverty are? One is the low level of economic development under the British colonial administration. See what happened, that the policies of the colonial government, it ruined traditional handicrafts and discouraged the development of industries like textile, and it has resulted in the less job opportunities and low growth rate of income. So the British policies had also been responsible for the poverty, and because of these policies of the Britishers, the problem was that the growth was also not there, and even the population was increasing. So there was a failure on both the fronts, economic growth also, and the population was also not being controlled. So this uh, population control or and the promotion of economic growth, that perpetuated the cycle of poverty. Then is the irregular small incomes. Yes, when with the irregular smaller incomes, the people, they are unable to afford expensive housing. They start living in slums on the outskirts of the cities, and the problems of poverty, largely a rural phenomena, also become the feature of the urban sector. And then is a huge income inequalities. One of the major reason for this is the unequal distribution of land and other resources. And major policy initiatives like land reforms, which has aimed at redistribution of assets in rural areas, have not been implemented properly and effectively by most of the state governments. Since lack of land resources has been one of the major causes of poverty in India, proper implementation of policy could have improved the life of millions of rural people. Then is the socio-cultural factors and the economic factors. These are responsible for poverty. What happens that in order to fulfill social obligations and religious ceremonies, like किसी की कोई बेबी बॉर्न हुआ है, कोई मैरिज है, या एनी अदर रिलीजियस सेरेमनीज, किसी की डेथ हो गई है, तो ये सारी की सारी एक सोशल ऑब्लिगेशंस जो है वो पूरा करने के लिए these people, they borrow the money, right? And when they are unable to repay it, they become victims of indebtedness. Even the small farmers, they also need money to buy agriculture inputs like seeds, fertilizers, pesticides, etc. And since these poor people, they hardly have any savings, so they borrow, and when they are unable to pay it, so these people become the victims of indebtedness. And this high level of indebtedness, it is both the cause and effect of poverty. Then is the lack of education. Yes, when a person is not educated, so it is very difficult to find the job, and when the job is not there, then the income is not there, and the income is not there, so the family is poor. Then is the division of agricultural land also. See, in our country the law of inheritance says that the property of the father, it is equally distributed among the sons. So the size of the agricultural land is also being divided or decreased. So when the small size farm size is there, so it leads to the less production, and less production means less income, and less income is poverty. Even the government policies are there. Government policies, no doubt government has initiated many of the policies, but the implementation has not been so effective, so it has not benefited a large section of the society. One reason could be the corruption, that the government machinery is somewhere corrupt and the benefits of the policies does not reach the poor people. Then is a privatization. Yes, privatization, it leads to the increase in the prices of the common things or the daily needs things also. So when the things becomes unaffordable or expensive, then the people or a large section becomes poor. Overpopulation, be it the families or be it a country, it is always exhausting the resources. And in the absence of resources or availability of resources, the country becomes poor and the family also becomes poor. And unemployment, we know that it is a major cause of the poverty. And had these policies being implemented properly, it would have benefited a large section of the society.